Hey guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, the Bright Side Girl, and today we are doing my most anticipated releases for 2019. I have over 20 books to share with you, so just hold your horses. Once again, it's going to be kind of a long video. A lot of these books you have already seen on everybody's most anticipated release list, so keep that in mind. I feel like I do have quite a few books that are not on other people's lists that you might be interested in seeing. So I only have a few really hyped books on here from popular series, and most of the reason for that is because I just haven't completed them or I haven't started them or whatnot. So it's not necessarily that I'm not interested in them, it's just that I'm not excited about them because I don't really know much. And then I don't really have a lot of debut authors on here. I think I might have one, purely because I personally am spending a lot of time on my backlist books and reading things that have already been out for a while to kind of get caught up with some major fandoms and things that are interesting to me. And some of the debut authors I read last year were very disappointing to me. Some authors, unfortunately, are jumping on the bandwagon of just YA being a popular genre right now, and they're writing books just to kind of sell something or to kind of get their toe in the door and not spending the time that they need to make a quality story. So that being said, I don't read a lot of debuts. I kind of wait and see other people's reviews beforehand, but I do have a couple on this list. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right in. So I'm going in order from when they release, from January to December. Keep in mind also that some of these dates might be wrong, some of the books coming out might even be wrong. I'm purely going off the research that I found on Goodreads, so if things are off, I really apologize, but this is the list that I have compiled as of today. Okay, so coming out on January 8th, which I believe this video is already going to be out, is going to be The Wicked King by Holly Black. I am currently reading The Darkest Part of the Forest, which I believe is set in the Cruel Prince, Folk and Air universe. I am loving it, and I just really enjoy Holly Black's writing style in general, so I will be reading Cruel Prince and The Wicked King this month via audiobook. This is a fae story with lots of magic and politics and goodness. Coming out January 15th is Stain by A.G. Howard. A.G. Howard tends to do quite a few retellings. I have his Splintered, which is a Alice in Wonderland retelling series I want to get to this year. This is a retelling about the Princess and the Pea. I'm not sure if it's set in modern time or historical, but I don't really care either way. I absolutely love retellings, and I've never read a Princess and the Pea one, so I'm really excited for this one. And that cover is real cool. Coming out on January 29th is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. Now this one is ridiculous that I put on this list, purely because as of today I still have not read a Leigh Bardugo book. Ugh. The Grisha is definitely on my list for February. The reason I'm excited about this one is I just feel like I'm gonna love it based on everybody else, and also the content of the story, just fantasy, magic, goodness. This is the first book in a new duology based on one of the characters from, I think, the Grisha trilogy, possibly Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I have almost all of her books. I'll be starting them soon, and I'll be having a vlog about it. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to King of Scars because it depends on how long it takes me to read them, but I am excited about it. Moving on to February. Courting Darkness by Robin Lefevre. This is a book set in the Grave Mercy universe. I don't think it's a continuation of the original series, which were companion books. Again, this is one that I plan on reading somewhere around February and March. I haven't read any of her other books, but I'm excited for this one purely because I am diving into the world for the first time. Coming out February 12th is Blood Witch by Susan Dennard. Once again, like the last 3 books I mentioned, I will be starting Truth Witch series very soon and reading up until Blood Witch. Hopefully I love it. I have a feeling I'm gonna love it. I have all of the other books, so now we're moving on to March. And coming out March 5th is Shadow Me by Tahereh Mafi. I think this is only going to be in ebook form, so that might be a little bit tricky for me. This is a novella set in the Shadow Me world based on the perspective of Kinji, who is a popular side character in the Shadow Me series. I love the Shadow Me series. I love Tahereh Mafi's writing. It's so fun and poetic and awesome, and Kinji is one of my favorite side characters of all time. He's hilarious, and I plan on rereading all of the Shadow Me books before the newest actual book comes out in April, which I'll talk about here in a second. So I just can't wait, and we get this awesome cover with the eye. They're just some of my favorites. Also coming out March 5th is A Question of Holmes. Once again, another series I need to get caught up on, but I do own the rest of the books in the series. This is a Sherlock Holmes retelling series, and Sherlock is a girl and it's set in modern times. And I think this is the last book in the series. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm putting it on this list anyway because it's my priority for 2019. Coming out March 19th, we have Never Contented Things by Sarah Porter. This is one that I haven't seen on anybody's list. I love Sarah Porter's Lost Voices series. This is my favorite mermaid series of all time at the moment. I just think her writing is really fun and adventurous, and this book sounds awesome. It's about a prince and his fairy court and two foster siblings that have undying love for each other. I don't know if that means romantic or not, so I'm a little concerned there, but they are entered somehow into this magical world and the prince wants to possess them and they have to basically fight for their freedom. Sounds awesome. Haven't heard anybody else talk about it. Can't wait to read another Sarah Porter book. I also need to read a couple on her list as well, but that one's coming out March 19th. Also coming out March 19th is Sherwood by Megan Spooner. This is a Robin Hood retelling with a female Robin Hood, and I'm so excited because there's a Robin Hood movie out right now, and I just can't wait to read this book. I plan on reading Robin Hood, like the Merry Adventures of Robin Hood in classic book form, very soon as well for this one. Coming out April 2nd, we have Defy Me by Tahereh Mafi. This is the continuation of the Shatter Me series, so it'll be book 5. I think we're getting 3 Tahereh Mafi Shatter Me books this year, 2 novellas and 1 regular one. This one is just a continuation on of the series, so I don't want to give anything away, but if you like Shatter Me, then you will enjoy this one. And Shatter Me is like a dystopian romance series, basically. Also coming out April 2nd is Sky Without Stars by Jessica Brody. This is a Les Mis retelling set in space. That was all I needed to know. Sci-fi goodness with Les Mis mixed in there. I'm really excited to read this particular retelling. Moving on to May. Coming out on May 7th is Finale by Stephanie Garber, which might be my most exciting book of the year. This is going to be our conclusion to the Caraval trilogy. I'm hoping we're going to get multiple perspectives in here. I have such grand hopes. I'm just so excited. I love this series so much, and I think she's going to do a great job wrapping everything up for us. Caraval is a traveling magical mystical group that you can go and see and participate in the game of Caraval, and it's just so mysterious and fascinating. The first book follows 2 sisters that wind up going into the game of Caraval, and things just go crazy, and it's a mystery aspect, and it's so good. Coming out on May 7th is Aurora Rising by J. Kristoff and Amie Kauffman. Nobody's talking about this, and I don't know why. This is J. Kristoff and Amie Kauffman's new sci-fi series, and I think it's about flight school, so it's giving me kind of Skyward by Brandon Sanderson vibes. It's going to be the first book in a series, and after I finished Obsidio last week, I just cannot wait for this. I hope we get some different formats in here as well. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen or if it's just like a standard book, but either way, I'm sure it's gonna be amazing, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Coming out May 21st, one of my only debut authors on this list. This is again But Better by Christine Riccio. I hope I pronounced your last name right. This is everybody's favorite booktuber, and she got a book published. This is a contemporary novel romance, I believe, about a young girl that goes to college and is like growing up and falling in love, and it sounds adorable, and I'm really excited to support Christine. Coming out June 11th, we have Language of Fire by Stephanie Hemphill. This is a Joan of Arc reimagining, so that we are following Joan of Arc in her teen years, and it's just going to be gruesome and heart-wrenching, and the cover is beautiful, and again, retellings always make my list. Oh, I hope this is awesome. Moving on to August. August 6th, we have House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. This one I think might be a debut author as well. This is a book that is giving me mermaid vibes. I don't know for sure if it's gonna have mermaid vibes, but it seems like mermaidy meets 12 Dancing Princesses, because like magical, they're on like an island, and then the lead character's sisters keep sneaking off to go to a magical party, but then they keep falling into the waves. I don't know, that description's really terrible, but it sounds awesome, so definitely look this one up on Goodreads because I'm adding it to my list for sure. Also coming out on August 6th, speaking of mermaids, is Seawitch Rising by Sarah Henning, which doesn't have a cover yet, but oh my gosh, I didn't realize Seawitch, which is a Little Mermaid retelling backstory of Ursula that I read last year and I loved. I didn't realize it was going to be a series and it's going to have a sequel, but supposedly it is, and it's coming out on August 6th. I hope this isn't a lie, because this is one of my most exciting books that I'm going to read this year. Yay, more mermaid books, and this one was told so beautifully, and it had princes and just magic and witches, and oh, it was really, really good. Moving on to September. September 3rd, we do not have a title or a cover for the fourth Three Dark Crowns book by Kendare Blake. I don't know what the title or the cover looks like, so this is just like the temporary cover. Love this series, can't wait for our conclusion. Three queens that fight to the death for the throne, and there's just magic and animals and poison and darkness, and oh, there's a queendom that is just amazing in here. Oh, it's so good. And I can't wait for this conclusion, but I'm scared. Coming out September 24th is Capturing the Devil by Carrie Maniscalco. This is the fourth and I believe final book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. Again, I haven't started this series, but I plan to read it this year before this new book comes out, and it sounds really good. We don't have a cover for this one yet either. Moving on to October. October 8th, and this is the only book on my list so far. We get more dwindled as the time goes on. We have The Beautiful by Renne Aideh. This is a new vampire book set in New Orleans, and there's like mystery and murder and vampires. And we haven't had a new vampire book from a prestigious YA author in a while. I know there's always vampire books coming out, but I don't think we've had a good YA vampire book in a while, and I'm really, really excited for this one. It looks amazing. Moving on to November, which is my last month because there are no new releases that I was interested in that have been announced for December yet. I'm sure there'll be more like as the year moves on. November 5th, we have The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. This is the author of The Night Circus, which again I haven't read, but this synopsis sounds amazing. It is about a young man that goes on a quest to a castle and a party, and there's magic and just, I don't know, it just sounds really, really good. Also on November 5th, supposedly the third Renegades book is coming out, which also doesn't have a title or a cover. I still need to catch up with Arch Enemies, but I loved Renegades so much, so I'm sure I will love this one as well. So those are all the official announcements that I am anticipating. I do have 4 books that I believe will come out this year, or at least I can hope, and do not have like any kind of release dates or pictures. So first, I'm hoping and praying that we get The Toll by Neal Shusterman. This will be the 3rd book in the Scythe series / trilogy. I'm not really sure how long it's gonna go. I'm almost done with Thunderhead. I'm completely freaking out. I know there's going to be a massive cliffhanger at the end, so I hope that we get this 3rd book this year because it's one of me and my husband's favorites. I also believe that we are getting the 4th Harry Potter illustrated book, which will be Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and I'm so excited for this one. I have 2 of the books. I still need to get the first one. I plan on reading them this year. I believe we're getting this one this year because we didn't get it last year, and I think it's going to be huge and it's going to be amazing, but we don't have a cover or any information about it, but I'm just hoping and praying. I also think we're getting the 2nd book for The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. I am really excited for this one because I have very mixed feelings about The Hazelwood, and I want to reread it and read this book to determine how I feel about the series as a whole. It was a very polarizing book for me. I wasn't that big of a fan of the first half, but I loved the second half. So this book will really determine like how I feel, and I think it's from someone else's perspective as well, so that'll be interesting. But again, no release date. And the last book that I am excited about that I also think is coming out this year is Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. I think they moved this one up. It was 2020 and I believe we moved it up to 2019. This is a fantasy book, the 2nd in a series or in a duology. I'm not really sure what she's doing with it. I haven't read Carry On yet, but it's on my high priority for 2019. I just love Rainbow Rowell's writing. I read Landline, Fangirl, Eleanor and Park, and even Eleanor and Park, which wasn't my favorite book, her writing was still phenomenal. So I'm really excited for this one, just to add another rainbow to my reading list, and I think it's gonna be great because it's set in a like fan fiction world kind of based on Harry Potter, and like what's not to like about that? Okay, you guys, hopefully this video wasn't too long. Those are my personal most exciting releases for 2019. There are some major books I left off of here. One being Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, because I am not sure if I'm excited about this one because it depends on how I feel about Lady Midnight. If I don't like Lady Midnight more than I liked some of her other books, then I'm not going to continue on with the series. Please don't hate me. And I don't know, I'm sure there's some other big ones on here that I'm leaving off, but we'll just see how the year goes, and I might do another update video if we get some more like new release announcements. But anyway, let me know what you guys are excited about for 2019, and I'll see you guys next time on the bright side. Bye!